Hi, I'm Patricia Greenberg. My guest today is Doug Malewicki. He's an inventor, rocket scientist, ultra runner, trailblazer, literally and figuratively, and the proud father of a world-class runner and grandfather of a soccer star. Welcome, Doug.
Thank you. Nice intro.
I included that because I wanted everyone to know I met you through your daughter, who's an amazing ultra runner, and she's an inspiration to me, even though I'm cutting back. I just look at people doing extraordinary things out there, and you just see there's so much life to live all the time, all around you. I want to start out by expressing, of course, how thrilled I am to finally have you here on the show. You're turning 85 this month.
Ah! Born in 1939. Yeah, end of this month.
You are what we call a super ager. And you've lived
Okay.
1,000 lifetimes from everything I've read about you. And I don't think there'll ever be enough time to talk about all the wonderful things you did and continue to do. So, to lift from some of the articles I read about your background, you hold patents in aviation, toys, medicine, mass transportation, and robotics. And you even
Correct.
invented a game to poke fun at the nuclear war. You designed high powered motorcycles and a bicycle that can go 152.28 miles per hour. You also have a Guinness World Record. Could you tell us about that?
Two of them.
Oh,
Oh, you need the picture. California commuter. This goes back, oh my God, 1980. I built this high mileage machine of the future, and we're still not there yet. We will be after all the cars are autonomous. A little streamlined single seater. So the first record was gasoline powered, LA to San Francisco. Oh boy, I should have that data handy, but I don't. 157 point some miles per gallon, all at freeway speeds.
wow.
Okay. So then the second record, we put a diesel in a year later. I drove it from Anaheim because there were Guinness people and news people there to start with, and ended up in Las Vegas. We got 154 miles per gallon, but that involved 6,300 feet of climbs to get there, the two passes. Yeah. Uh, so that was the diesel thing. It was for the SEMA show, Specialty Equipment Manufacturing Show. So put on a pedestal. Same with this was done for the San Francisco Auto Show. They had me on a big raised floor, but this thing is really small. But it was fun. It was comfortable. I'm reclined and laying down, looking across at truck axles. But when it's the only one out there, it was safe because everyone sees you. I've even had one gal follow me about a mile to my house. So I was driving home one time, and I said, "Why don't you just beat the horn?" I would have pulled over. We could have chatted. So that's a long, long 40 years ago.
That's funny. Wow. So there's so much to talk about, and your background is in science. And I want to talk about your inventions, but I just want to throw this out. In your lifetime, of what you predicted of what we would need in terms of transportation and fuel and efficiency and space exploration, has it come to fruition the way that you had predicted as a young man?
Not as good.
Okay.
I love Elon Musk.
Hmm.
He's doing stuff. The NASA, when I worked on Apollo, oh my God, that's the 60s. Got my master's at Stanford, 63. Aeronautical astronautical engineer, was working on the Polaris missiles. And then I got my master's. I got a raise, and I said, "Oh, I got to go work on the space program." So I just did a telephone interview and got the job, and another raise to go down there and work. And I did some pretty cool stuff there. But NASA was so, what do you call it? Gung ho, go. You got to take chances. But now it's bureaucratic, and they're slow. It's been 50 plus years, and they haven't gone back to the moon, and they're spending billions on their new rocket to go there, and they still haven't even taken anyone to the moon. And I think Elon has done stuff they probably wouldn't be doing for another 40 years, like landing the rockets and reusing them like a car. And they would have had a $500 million contract to perfect that, and about the third crash they would have quit. That happened to him. He kept going. He's perfected it. reduces the cost of going to space a ton.
That's very interesting. And so here's the age-old question. You think this is a waste of money to go to space?
Oh no,
Yeah.
no, that's the future. Oh my God, oh my God. That's what Elon Musk says because he wants to go to Mars. 100 people at a time. And I even have a better idea for. Oh, I want to put that into my nuclear war game.
But how do you get back? I mean, that's the question to me.
Why?
Oh, okay. We're just going to Mars.
That's like
We're not coming back.
okay.
Okay.
It took what 3 months to sail to the new world,
Yes.
America. This will take 6 months. Did
Okay.
you go back? No.
No.
Even when I was growing up, people were not flying, back and forth across the world like they do now.
Sure. Sure.
Yeah, I mean, how many times have we been to Europe and on cruises there and stuff like that?
Yeah. And
Yeah,
people just treat it like
yeah,
driving down the street. Yeah.
and there'll be some time where people may go to Mars for the cool vacation or to the moon. Oh yeah, that's one of the sci-fi things because the gravity is so low, and they'll find some hollowed out caves, and you'll be able to, because you're so light, put on some wingy things and flap your arms just like a bird and fly
Yeah.
around. That'd be cool. That'd be a cool entertainment ride. Yeah.
Did you aspire to go into space at the time that this was all new and fresh in the 60s?
I think I started the basic application, yeah, but I was just a dumb young kid. These other guys had super credentials, Air Force pilots and stuff like that. I got to meet quite a few of them.
Mm-hmm. I just look back and it's just so interesting. So Doug, more on the invention side of your life, because I want to talk about your personal fitness records. I think this all goes hand in hand. But first I want to hear about, of course, you know, we understand what went into the space program, and it's mundane to most people, but I'm still fascinated by the power of that, by all of you getting together collectively with all of your expertise and actually getting men and women into space and potentially sustaining life up there. Could you give us a little bit of a behind the scenes of what that took to put it together? But
Oh, there were
I'm hanging around in the space program for a little bit because I'm a frustrated
yeah.
astronaut. I wish I would have.
Oh, okay, yeah. There were
Yeah.
400,000 people working to make that happen.
Mhm.
Kennedy said it. Let's make it happen, and they
Mhm.
barely made it. July 20th, 1969.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah, all the engineering was done. I was already on to other jobs, 5 years before that. I worked on I was doing structural dynamic analysis on the lunar module where it docks to the service module.
Mhm. Mhm.
And there's a ring, kind of the neck. So they assumed this could happen or that could happen. One was an rocket engine to thrust them to the moon, loses its gimbal control and goes like this. So then things start shaking. So we analyzed that and said, oh, that's where it'll break. Those guys will all die. Twice. They redesigned it, and that wasn't enough. Just like when the three guys died in the fire because they had like a screwed down hatch,
Mhm.
one of the designers, which was all done drafting tables, big sheets of paper back then, he already had the design for one, with the wheels, but it probably weighed 20 pounds more, and they were so worried about weight. So three guys died.
Yeah. And that would have been, and that obviously was a game changer and how
Yeah,
that,
they had to have had that, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's very interesting. Doug, we met through the fitness world, but so what was your fitness like then? I mean, because again, you're an ultra runner, and like, what did it look like in
Wow.
the 60s and 70s of people taking care of themselves? Because you obviously did something right along the way. So,
Yeah, I'm trying to think. The '60s, did I do anything? I was a young kid. They invented my crazy game when I was
yes,
26 years old,
yes.
and it's now 59 years old. They had
Yeah.
a special 50th edition. But anyway, I don't remember. Okay, I did run four marathons on the road,
Okay.
and it bothered my back. The last one was 1993
Mm.
LA,
Oh.
which was fun. Uh, and then I kind of quit the running. And then this guy I was telling you about, Baz Hawley is his name, that used to work for me. I read about him in the Register, and I said, wow, and I had his phone number, so I called him up, and so we got together a couple times for drinks. He said, oh, you got to come and do my races. I says, oh, no, I'd be embarrassed. I could never run up those hills. And, you know, he said, oh, no, people hike up those hills. I says, oh, BS, you're lying to me, And 2 years later, says, okay, I'll try your 12K. And at that point, so that would have been, I would have been 58 years old.
Wow.
Yeah, my buddy and I, a retired Major Marine, Bob Johnson, did 25 years of week-long backpack trips in the Sierras. Love that. Oh, he's funny, yeah. I've done Whitney 7 times, up to 14,500.
No.
He did 1999. He did 2000, the year 2000 with me. Then he says, that's it. Once a millennium's enough. So he hasn't been up there since. The last time I was up there was 2019 at age 80. Yeah.
Wow. Wow. So that, this is again brings me to you have the smarts that goes without saying. You have the discipline that goes without saying. Do you feel that
it's fun? It's not discipline.
Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate that. I like to tell people that too. Oh, you have to be so disciplined. But you do have to be disciplined. But so tell me how that goes hand in hand. Your physical wellness with your mental acuity and your outlook on life. That's really what I wanted to get to hone in on with you.
Wow.
Because you're sharp as a tack. That's why I said you're a super ager.
Okay, thank you. I'm at my standing desk. I can't stop just doing this. I built my own 3-4 years ago now. That's supposed to be healthy for you too.
Yes, absolutely. Mm-hmm.
And okay, I forgot the question. I'm getting.
All right, so I was just going to ask you the kind of the interfacing between your accomplishments, big and small, your fitness accomplishments, your scientific accomplishments. Wow. How do you feel that all brought you to where you are today? You're relaxed, you're fun, you're healthy. This all had to play a role.
Wow, that's a very interesting. You're going to give me a half hour to ponder that? Instant answer.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just do it. I like being busy. I like having fun. I love inventing. Some of it gets a little frustrating, and especially when you're dealing with the greedy guys who only care about money. And the running it's always been fun. I ran this guy's. I never paid for a race because I ran the website for him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that's why I did all those races. A couple dozen 50Ks, couple dozen marathons, all those what he called the Winter Trail Run series every year. Oh, and that's how I got Michelle started.
Oh, okay.
Little Sierra was born. I bought Michelle probably half a year later a baby jogger. So I'd go visit her because I was already divorced and married to number 2, and my hot Swedish blonde babe who's hot, gray-haired, beautiful, friendly, my buddy lady. Anyway. 47 years coming up in July.
Wow.
Same house, same wife.
Congratulations.
Anyway,
wow.
So we would go on a little hike in the neighborhood, pushing the kid, little Sierra baby. And 3 months later, we're running one slight downhill part on the sidewalks. Another 3 months, we're probably running the whole thing. And then I got her to try one of these Baz races. Okay. What the heck one was that? Might have been the 15 or the 18K, and we came, finished about the same time. So I think the next one was the half marathon, 3,500 foot of climbs, and she came in second or third overall. She couldn't believe it. She was a half hour ahead of me.
Wow.
She wasn't even. And she has, her trademark long hair. She flopped that over, and all the girls said she wasn't even sweating.
Yeah.
So she was pacing herself for another half hour. So at that point, she was hooked, and she has so many records that she said.
Yes, yeah, what a natural athlete. So Doug, so it sounds like as you're saying it's fun, it's not work. Your work is fun, your fitness is fun, your family is fun, being married and in the same house, this sounds all like fun to you. Were you born with such a beautiful attitude?
I doubt it. South side of Chicago, 10 feet away from the Illinois Central commuter train
Yeah,
tracks. No
yeah,
fences or anything back then. Yeah.
yeah. So
Oh
sometimes
boy.
that scrappy early childhood gets us going and onto the bigger things we want to do. Uh,
Uh, yeah, go ahead. I was going to say I
so
was the first one ever in the whole distributed family to ever go to and finish college. But oh boy, yeah, we were kind of little bratty kids because that was the neighborhood I grew up in. Oh, we do crazy stuff. Like we figured out what was causing the gates to go in because the front of our house was a street that went right across the tracks. So here comes the car. We put a quarter across the two tracks where there's a clickety clack grab.
yeah,
The gates would come down. That's what it was. The wheels made the connection. So the person would stop and he'd sit there and sit there. But it was this kind of a gate, one on each side.
yes, yes.
After a while, they'd back up a little and start going this way. Then we'd open the gate. Then they back up a little. We close. We were brand.
Yeah.
And then one time, God, I don't know how old we were. Three of us rolled this giant, probably 4-foot diameter snowball and put it in front of the train because we wanted to derail it. And we were so disappointed it went right through like powder.
Well,
But
that's your first
I
science
was,
experiment,
yeah,
right?
life is, John Lennon, life is what happens to you while you're making other plans. I love playing with airplanes and rockets. That before there was like Estes where you could just buy the motors, I was mixing chemicals and making essentially gunpowder. And my uncle was a machinist. He made me the convergent, divergent nozzles, put them in aluminum tubes and all that. So we used to launch those at off of Lake Michigan and stuff like that.
So aviation came natural to you early on.
Yeah, I played with a lot of models.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I went to, because it cost nothing, Navy Pier, University of Illinois undergraduate student for 2 years. And yeah, I made a point not to get super good grades in high school because it was uncool.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's funny. That was, but once I got to college, I was fine on doing good grades again. And then in elementary school, oh, I always got great grades and stuff like that. It's crazy, stupid people. But I was first string halfback on the fullback. I'm sorry, on the high school football time at 155 pounds.
Wow. Wow.
Because and 80% of the school was Jewish, all my friends, and they're future surgeons and
Yeah.
stuff. And mommy and daddy didn't want them taking a chance of breaking
Beat
their
up, right,
fingers.
right. Mm-hmm.
And then I ran that website, the high school website, for 20 years too. We just had a 65th reunion in 2022 and said, no more. Forget it. That's enough. So I dropped the website.
Oh, that's a shame. How are your peers doing? Is that
A lot of them are dying off.
Yeah.
I'm still doing a lot more physically than they are. And I think it's just, you got to just keep doing it.
Yeah.
And it's got to be fun. If it's not fun, forget it.
That's the bottom line. You have to be enjoying it. Doug,
Like,
I want to ask you also, you are the mastermind behind Robosaurus, and it's a robot that was designed specifically to entertain people, which eventually took on a life of its own. Tell us how that came to be and what it is.
okay.
Because it seems like a departure from your regular engineering job. Yeah.
Okay. I was at Northrop working on the then new B-2 stealth bomber, and had 3 guys working for me. And I had a picture. Oh, before that, we had the jet dragster afterburning motorcycle. And I had the picture of the California commuter in my office and stuff like that. So one day we're talking, and one of the, I can't even remember their names. Oh, he said, Doug, you should build one of these transformer robots. And the other guy says, yeah, it should be fire. And the other guy says, yeah, it should eat cars. I says, I can raise money for that. We raised money for the jet bike. And before that, I had the patented kite cycle.
Mhm.
Well, that's because I wanted something to take all the income away from that Evil Knievel was making because he ripped me off pretty badly. He ripped anyone I mentioned. Oh yeah, he did this and that. He says, well, he's done that to everyone in the motorcycle business. But the world loved him. He was like a big hero. But I remember the local Lions drag race with them. I got to meet O.J. Simpson before he was a criminal, and yeah, George Hamilton, is it the
Sure.
actor? Yeah. They were there in his big fancy tractor trailer. And before he does his jump, he's giving everyone a 15-minute lecture, the kids and everything. Don't do drugs, don't drink, and all that. And then we're back in his fancy truck, and he's chug-a-lugging Smirnoff. Before I was so confused.
Before he did the jump, oh my goodness.
Yeah, yeah, because I was just a 26-year-old kid, and I just didn't pay attention. I just thought, oh, this is fun to work on this. So I, knew about rocket stability, this and that.
So
That's
you built a super motorcycle for Evil Knievel?
This was a rocket motorcycle.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. And the second, when it was unveiled and fired at Twin Falls there, I was supposed to get a $5,000 bonus. He was always late paying, and that he had some excuses he couldn't do that. So I just quit, and I found another. Oh boy, that's a bad story.
Yeah.
Another guy, Super Joe Einhorn, and I was building a reusable rocket jumping thing that would go farther and everything with some other good people that had good rocket motors they were making, and he ended up sending a guy with a gun at my house. So
Goodness.
yeah, and the guy said, I've been following you for 2 days. I was supposed to put you 6 feet under, but I saw your little baby, Michelle,
Oh,
year and a half old, in the window. So we just talked.
wow.
He made me send a telegram to Evil saying, I'll quit this working for this Super Joe. And he says, tell him I roughed you up too. you know, I don't know. People are crazy.
That's a crazy story. Well, thank God you got all these years later to tell. So then
Yeah.
from there you designed the Robosaurus.
Yeah, the Robosaurus raised. Oh, my one partner, I went to him to talk about it. He had a truck business going. He owned a couple tractor trailers just to haul goods back and forth and had some hired people. So I asked him a lot of questions, and he kept saying, what's on your mind? What's on your mind? Because we worked on several, like the jet bike and the kite cycle together in the past few years. And I says, well, this is what I want to do. You know what he told me? This is the first good idea you've ever had. He got one of his friends. We took him out to lunch. Next day, that guy come and said, well, like shares, 35,000 each,
Right.
a wad. And that guy called back the next day, I want to buy half the shares. So, oh, great. Okay, that'll get us going. So, look, didn't buy a share. So, we're off and running.
You're a little frozen, Doug. I hope that's clears
Oh,
up.
I am?
Yeah,
Okay.
now you're out. Now you're back to normal.
Okay.
That's okay.
Okay. Maybe you were frozen.
Yeah, maybe I was frozen. Hmm.
Okay. Well, I guess your editor will fix that.
Yes, absolutely. Hmm.
Oh. Anyway, we got that thing going, painted, decorated pretty fast. And I put 3 other people that really helped me a lot on the pet too. And this one guy, in fact, I got him because I had another project at another company I was working for. They made aerospace parts. And I had a project for a clean line for making gores that became the space shuttle external tank. So this is all brand new into this facility. And this guy was so good, and I, hired him that, I stole him from the company once I was doing the Robosaurus. Yeah.
That's great.
Thanks. So he and I, if anything ever happens, we keep talking about doing Son of Robosaurus.
Uh,
The money's out there. Even the monster trucks, they make about 20 grand each a performance.
wow. Wow.
So then they have these competitions, and people love that stuff.
Yeah. It's
I've
a
seen
real,
one
like I say,
monster.
it's the real life transformer. People see it in the
Oh,
movie,
yeah,
but they want to go
yeah.
out and see it in person. You know what, Doug? That just the bar is getting higher and higher to entertain people, right? I mean,
Yeah.
everybody's got the behind the scenes ticket nowadays, so it just gets more difficult to keep people interested, which is a shame. But remember the good old days when you could just have fun with a cardboard box and your friends out on the playground? Um,
I'm gonna have to send you a nuclear war game. You'll love
yeah,
it.
yeah,
It's very weird.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
I started telling you about that. One of the cards I wanted to put in there is here's Elon Musk. Okay, and there's things called propaganda cards, and people come to your country. There's no money; it's all population. Okay,
Interesting.
yeah. So in this case, Elon Musk is shooting 100 people a day to the moon. I mean to Mars. This is the future.
Okay.
So 5 million people from other countries come to your country to get in line to go to Mars, whatever's there. So then the second, he's the only one that would be another card. Is here's Elon Musk. He spends $2 billion perfecting cryopreservation for humans, and inadvertently, what is it? I don't know. 10 million people with terminal illnesses come to come to your country to get held in stasis while their whatever cure is being cured. Nutty stuff, futuristic
Yeah,
stuff.
that's very, very,
Odd.
yeah, it's out there, but a lot sci-fi, but it could move on to be, turn out to be, turn out to be real. So now moving on to your incredible physical prowess. I mean, most people, I'm in my 60s and I wasn't told to stop working out. We run in the same circles in the running community.
Yeah.
There's people out there 60s, 70s, and like you in their 80s out there still doing. But a lot of doctors are telling people to stop in their 50s. And here you were just getting started. So you
Yeah.
took up skydiving at 55.
That's the one and only time I ever did
Oh,
it,
it's the
just
one
for
only
my
time. Okay.
birthday. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And how was that? That had to be amazing.
Well, I already had a pilot's license and knew
Okay.
about flying, and I was a little upset because as we were landing and flaring out, the guy says, "Lift your knees up, lift your knees up." So when we came in and kind of flared out to a stop, we rolled over. I says, "I could have taken care of that."
Yeah.
But yeah, I was okay. I was also a Cessna flight test engineer, but I
Okay.
learned to fly in college, junior years at University of Illinois downstate. Champaign-Urbana had for aeronautical engineering students 2 scholarships to learn to fly for juniors, 2 for seniors. So I wrote 1 piece of paper that said, "How the heck can I be an aeronautical engineer if I don't know how to fly an airplane and what's all involved?" Boom, I got the scholarship.
Amazing.
So
Amazing
that was fun. Yeah,
for
that was
you.
fun.
You had such insight to the future and everything you did. So, I want to ask you now, how are you staying busy, not just with your fitness, but just how's your diet? How's your life? What are you paying attention or are you just enjoying your life?
I think my wife and I have started eating much better since probably, I got interested in this longevity stuff probably not till I was like 60.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, uh, I would say, yeah, we eat good. In fact, in the last couple of years, we used to have like a glass of wine probably 5 days out of the week with dinner. Now we only have it on Sunday. We regularly have salmon dinner on Sunday, and that's the one night we have dessert. We used to have desserts quite often. Wednesday is popcorn night. Sunday is a real dessert night. But we eat pretty good. She's staying very healthy.
That's fantastic. And again, you came to it, even though you were 60, you came to it at a time where it was nowhere near as popular as it is today to try to, really maintain our wellness as we age. A lot
Oh
of
yeah,
people really give up, and you're a tremendous inspiration to not only me, but I hope everybody that's listening really sees that these little tiny, like a little less wine during the week, a little less alcohol, I should say, a little less dessert, a little more paying attention. And like you say, getting out there and being a role model for, not only other people, your family, your children, your grandchildren. And tell me also about, your own, it's a personal question, but I want to hear about your own self-reflection. Looking back on your life, do you see what I see? Do you see what a tremendous list of accomplishments you've had and how, you're here to tell and you're on it? It's just, do you see yourself as extraordinary as we do?
Should have been a better businessman and spent more money with lawyers getting contracts, then I'd be a lot richer and I could do all the other inventions I want to do. In fact, recently I gave up on my newest one. I call that Star Pods. There's a way, I don't know if you read about the SkyTrain, but I spent 30 years of my life on that one for nothing. They screwed it up totally when they got new young people in there. And it grew from what should have been a 250-pound streamlined machine to a 4-passenger, 6,600 machine. Then the company lost all their financing, 60 people down the tubes. But the new one, I'm saying, there should be a new criteria for public transportation. Capacity per hour per dollar. If you put something like this next to a freeway, so low passenger, because 80% of the people causing the jam up crowded freeways are driving solo in their 4,000, 5,000 pound cars. If they get, say, 30, I'd be getting 300. I already got that experience 40 years ago with the California commuter.
Right.
Little by little. But even if I got 25 million tomorrow, then you got 10 years in dealing with bureaucrats and safety regulators who, they're just overboard. They want you to be able to do all this. I says, if you do that and demand that for all automobiles, I'll go along with it. But meanwhile, go to hell.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. So, Doug, we're getting near time, and I just want to say I want to thank you so much for being here. And lastly, please tell us what you like about getting older.
Oh, I'd rather be younger. Who wouldn't?
Yeah.
Hey, a younger body, but keep the mind.
Yes.
Yeah. What would be the optimum age? I don't know, 35, 40? Physically. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I have a little bit of a balance problem you got to watch about, a little careful. Like that Mount Baldy thing. I don't know if you read that, but I sent that to you. I am the oldest guy. Let's see, the last time I set the record was their 52nd annual for the race. And at age 80, I became the oldest guy to beat the 3-hour cutoff.
Amazing. Amazing. And how did you feel afterwards? Did you feel good when you were done?
Yeah. Like, what else can we do next?
Yeah.
So I'm still doing it, but then we had the COVID hit.
Yeah.
And all that. So in the meantime, they extended it for people over 70 to 3.5 hours.
Okay.
So when I did it last year, I was 3:00:35.
Wow.
Third of a second over what I considered the record.
Yes.
So I'm going to make sure I lose 10 pounds before the race this year. And that'll make it. Or quit that's another problem with getting old, having to stop and take a pee.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, I'll let you close. You want to hear my poem?
No, but that's for sure. I mean, is getting, the joys of getting older, but thank God we're all here, I keep saying.
Yes.
And so, again, thank you again so much. My guest is Doug Malewicki for joining me, and our audience can get in touch with you at www.inventordoug.com. There's so much to learn about and read. And I also want to thank everybody for listening here on my show. Doug, thank you so much for joining us today. I'd love to have you back, and I wish you health and happiness for many, many more years to come.
Thank you. It's been fun. Oh my God. Appreciate it.